We are the team of the two actors, Elitsa Dimova and Dimitar Yakimov. Our theme, the horse, the rose, the wheat, and the grapevine, a sacred messenger to the Thracians and Bulgarians. The main aim of the study is to reconstruct some ancient economic practices from the time of Mykenæ practiced in the Middle Age in the Balkans, linking them to their sacred significance. To research methods are analysis, analogy, comparison, and summary. To achieve the goal of the study, we use genetic and retrospective methods. The genetic traces were the cult of the Balkans, cults of the Balkans originated in the early epoch before and from the time of Homer, 8th century BC, when they had the same semantic basis and the population was in the cultural and linguistic community. The historical comparative method identifies different events by placing them in the correct chronological and substantive framework. On the picture on the right, we see the mother goddess as an astronomical code for changing time and epoch, antique mosaic from Eritrea, southern Balkans. The primary idea of the great mother goddess is the same inhabits the mountain and even that she is a mountain herself. Sources such as Homer, writers such Titius Livy, Suetonius and Pompeius Mela define the mountains of Thrace as an area where the main sanctuaries of the Thracian tribes functioned. The mother goddess is also reverting the transition from the age of the Capricorn, which is transferred to the age of fish. That is why the Thracians depict this transition with images of the mother goddess Makara is a unicorn with a fish tail. On the picture we see a find with a gold ring was found in the region of Shumen, which was used to make an artificial horse horn. The tales from the treasure from the Letnica, Bulgaria, show the cult of the unicorn. The cult of Makara, the goddess with the fish tail, passes to the so-called Pontic goddess, which the female body and fish tail. In the early Bronze Age, we already have evidence of the sacred connection between the horse as a substitute for the unicorn, a symbol of the mother goddess. Recent genetic studies of the large group of horses in the Black Sea region show that the horse was domesticated in the Balkans shortly before or almost at the same time in the Asia Minor. The word of the Thracian is threefold: upper, middle, and lower world. The Trinity is also characteristic of the Bulgarians and then naturally convert to Christianity. In this sense, in the division of the Orpheus is a vertical link between the Thracian community and the gods Dionysus as a messenger of the earthly and human dimension, and Hermes is a link with the underworld. In this sense, the word Makara can be transcribed as a Ma, mother goddess, Ra, father god, and Ka, Holy Spirit or son. Kari is the name of the Thracian tribe that practices nature of friendly living and healing practices. Their basis was the knowledge of the importance of the herd and hence the name of cardiology. On the picture we see tetradrachma on the city of Maronea, White Sea Thrace, 5th century BC. He is depicted on the face horse, the main zoomorphic images of Dionysus Bacchus, on the reserve a square with a stylized vine, which four bunches inscripted in it the plant hypostasis on the god, and outside the square a bee. All evidence from written sources and archaeological finds show that the Thracians had developed animal husbandry and plant breeding, making a selection of different species. Read the Greek epihorigo in this coin. It loses its meaning because it is translated as a place of giving. While read in Bulgarian, the inscription is much more important and means to fire of the god Horus and the dance of the god Horus. According to Xenophon, the Thracians performed a military dance called Calabrismus, accompanied by a song Calabros. Antonov characterizes this dance Calabrismus with the following word: "The fate of the warrior has an eternal companion, the shadow of death, but in the religion ideas of the Thracian it does not stand as a problem. The Geti ritual is an essential part of the qualification of the faith, and the dance, according to existing information, is realized in rites among the Besi or Udrician. The military dance Calabrismus is a player that prepare the fighters. Here there is not only a purely phonetic but also semantic and functional correspondence between the word Calabros and the ancient Bulgarian word for the high priest Kolobar. Bogumil still in Bosna depicting sacred dance on the right picture. Calabros are part of the Bulgarian medieval title, the part of the military administrative structure in the Bulgarian state. In the Thracian court and also among the Bulgarians, the horse plays a very important role. That is why we can judge to the archaeological finds of the Thracian horsemen, as well as by graffiti from the Middle Age in the Bulgarian capital Spliska and Preslav. The connection with the ancient agricultural cult, which included the horse, can be found in the Bulgarian language. One on the glagolic letters is called hers and has not only a linguistic resemblance to the god Horus. An ethnic group in northern Bulgaria that has been associated with horse breeding is called the Herzoi. But in fact, the ancient root of the word is related to the horse, and the surfer, the god Horus, through dance huro that is survived to this day. That is dance, Bulgarian dance. Herodotus reports that the various Thracian tribes had regional specifics in costumes and military clothing, and each Getus tribe had distinctive signs. The ancient men's costume on the Hersois is distinguished mainly by white pantaloons. The personal name Hrso has been known since to 14th century, and Hrso has been known since 17th century. From the Herodotus we understand that the Argos, who had escaped to the Thracian tribe Illyrian in present-day North Macedonia, persecuted by the Persians, had a specialization of sheep herds, some grazing herds, others large and separately small cattle. On the important things about the cult of the horse is the fact that the animals were trained for a military dance and brushed their hooves in the time, this is musical time, 7 to 8, to the sound of various instruments. In this measure, the Bulgarian dance Thracianitsa is played. The Thracian use lyres, harps, megadis, trins, flutes, which were part of the ritual serfs of the gods. Charon of the Lampsac, who lived before the Peloponnesian War, in the second book in the Annals, described a curious story with trained Thracian horses. The Kardi tribe, probably related to the Kari, received a prediction that the Bisalts would attack them. They had trained their horses to dance to the sound on the flute during feasts. Bisalts attacked the horse with the music, and they won. In History of Animals, Aristotle tells us that the Thracians had a very well-developed cattle breeding and throughout race the largest buffaloes in the world were bred, which we saw confirmed by numismatic material. He added, in many cases, the reason for the size is in the crossbreeding. For example, in Illyria, Thrace, and Epirus, donkeys are small, and the Celtic and Scythian lands are not born and tall. The Spartan poet treatise mentioned in fragment 20 of the first song, the Moesian discovered how to cross donkey stellation with mares. The coup Dionysus his connection with the horse, the wine, and the bee can be found on a coin, a tetradrachma found in Maronea, where a very interesting text it read it. In our opinion, the historian's interpretation in this coin is not entirely accurate. The presence of the bee indicated by the connection with the mother goddess and the royal families adopted by her, and the name of Horus Hers, or the image of the horse, confirmed the sacred connection between the Thracian tribe Medi and ethnonym derived from the word honey. One of the agricultural gods, Dionysus, is associated with the production of wine from a special variety of Zela for phonetic and prophetic and Bacchus rituals. He is the son of the great Zeus. According to Sophocles, Dionysus was a historical figure in the son of the Thracian king Dryas. Dionysus astronomically represents Jupiter, revered by the Bulgarians and specially noticed in the Bulgarian calendar, while Hermes is associated with the planet Mercury. Special are sacred role of the wine during the Bacchus ritual. It is wrong to think that they are just orgasmic. In fact, they have sacralized the conception of the family. According to the Greeks, Dionysus embodies merriment, but his main merit in that he taught people to cultivate the wine, grape wine. Some archaeological finds can fill in the missing links between the cult of immortality, the horse, the wheat, the wine, and the rose. The cult of wheat and bread can be judged from a number of archaeological discoveries in Bulgaria. An Orpheus ring was found and finds from the village of Beden, where a Thracian helmet was found too. And in the Yagodina cave, which is also located in the Rhodopis, Idus, herds, and weight are dated. Throughout radiocarbon analysis, it has been proven that bread has been known for 6,000 years of the territory of Bulgaria. In the hands of goddess Ankois, tills and ceramic, we find with ears. The discovery of the stone bread in Chetinova Mogila Starosel near the town Hisara is emblematic. In 2009, in the inner mount were found 4 bread made of tuff with an average diameter of 34 centimeters. They were found above a burnt layer dating from the period 4th to 2nd century BC. It is obvious that the cult of the gods who were worshipped with a ritual is associated with the fertility and means the existence of developed agricultural practice. Another mystical mediator in the Thracian Bulgarian ritual is all-bearing crows. As fragrant flowers, it was discovered in a fossil 25-30 million years ago. So the cultivation of the all-bearing crows is difficult to define as time as place, as well as exactly how it was done and by what technology. In the Kazanluk tomb we have proof of its use, because according to us, in the tray of gifts prepared to the Great Mother Goddess, there are roses, not pomegranates. The word of Orpheus in which he lived was white. The color is not accidental, because the clothes of the priests were white. This was a cast sign of belonging in the tunic were made of linen. It's believed that the color of the first roses is white. Orpheus met the sun in the morning, and the sunrise was the face of the rose in his magical poetry. Conclusions. The Thracian cult is identical with the belief of the Bulgarians as far as the veneration of the horse as a sacred animal is concerned. Typological characteristics show shamanic rituals. The horse is the connecting link to the connection with the belief in the mother goddess, which shows a very ancient chronological era. Agricultural practices are mythologically based on uniting the sacred products, which are metaphors of birth, wine, and rose, including wet wine and rose. Wet and bread, in particular, is a metaphor for the cosmic center of the home, and the grapevine of wine and life force. The rose is another symbol of the mother goddess, and it directly related to the connection with immortality. The existence of special attitude towards the horse is caused by the belief that it is the solar mediator of the soul in the afterlife. From a genetic study of the large find from the region of the town of Kitten more than 10,000 years ago, it is clear that the so-called Thracian or Haltekin horse, described by the sources as having shiny fur, was domesticated from the first time in the Balkans, or almost at the same time in Emasia Aina. This showed the existence of the common cultural area in which knowledge about agricultural practices has been exchanged. The Thracian and Bulgarians carried out the selection of the animals, which is proof of advanced civilization in the territory among the Danube, at least since the time of Mykenä. Thank you for the attention.